For this evening, Shaggy.
Who the f*** are you? You nothing. You nothing. You are nothing. And you will never be anything. Never.
Colin.
Anybody know who you are? You miserable, presumptuous, no talent. You obviously don't have the talent.
And Mike, the Ape Man.
You are everything that's gone wrong in this world. You are self-consumed, no talent, mediocre piece of shit.
PTR Radio.
Good evening and welcome everybody. PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. Nice to be back. Couple days delayed because of other obligations that we have outside of the show. Wish I could say that, it was because we had a wild and crazy time, but that's not really the case. We just had other stuff going on that's more higher priority. But lots of things have happened since the last show, some of which we're going to get into, some of which we're not. So it's up to you to... Nope, we don't need that to start again, thanks. It's going to be up to you to guess the things that we're not going to talk about. So, if you want to throw out some wild and crazy guesses, you can pick Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube at PTR Radio. Go ahead and comment on the live thread that you're watching, and Mike will splash them up on the screen whenever they happen. And maybe you'll be right, maybe you'll be wrong. You may be right, you may be wrong, I may be crazy. That's just the way that it is tonight. So anyway, that's where we're going. So, all right. With that said, let's see here. YouTube. Yep. All right. That's good. So the little toy is up for Mike and should be ready for him to use. Okay.
Okay, the toy is working?
Yeah. So everything's good until I switch out my router later this week, and then it'll probably break something.
Why are you going to do that?
Why am I going to do that? Because I got a new router. I got new toys. Gots to have new toys.
Well, okay. Well, what kind of new toy did you get? What's the significance here? Okay, I need to know.
So
I need to know these things.
So I have a Ubiquiti Edge Router Pro, I think is what it is, right now. Okay, so it's a pretty decent router. Lets you do up to 3 physical networks, VLANs, all the other fun stuff. But it doesn't quite handle gigabit very well if you're doing all that stuff. So I'm moving up, and the interface is so-so, right? It's definitely not user-friendly, okay? But it's not enterprise either. It's somewhere in between.
Is it the same dashboard as the APs?
It's not actually. This is completely different, and this is all within the box. There's no separate client that runs.
Okay, the hell with that.
And to get the most power out of it, you do have to drop down to a command shell to do stuff. But
I mean, look, go ahead.
But if I'm going to drop down to a command shell, I want to drop down to a real command shell. And I want to get into some deep level stuff. So I bought myself a MikroTik router board. So now I got myself 10 gigabit ports to play with. And I can configure this thing any way that I want till the cows come home.
Is this the router that I posted about?
No, it's not that one. It's not that one because that's 10 gigabit. This is just single gigabit. Yours was super. I've been looking at the MikroTik stuff for a while now because I actually do want to get into some 10 gigabit stuff. All right. And for those of you following along at home who might not be tech savvy, all right, a long time ago we were hunting for AOL discs, and whatever the net one was that gave you the free hours every time you got a different disc, right? We used to be hunting for those. Yeah, net zero, right? And then we found this thing called DSL, which was this huge upgrade, right? Ooh. And I was the first one of my family, first one of my group to get DSL. And I thought, well, that's awesome. Go from 56K up to 384. Holy crap, was I downloading a bunch of stuff on that. And then we jumped up to cable, and cable's been slowly getting up there, right? Now, Colin is on fiber, because Colin's just baller like that.
Just luck of the draw where you are in town.
Yeah.
Someday they'll get to your neighborhood.
Yeah. So, it's kind of like that for going from, 100 megabit to gigabit to 10 gigabit. Once you start up that path, you just want more. It's like a junkie with a fix. All right. Now, ever since I built my NAS, my NAS, and I started offloading data from one machine to another,
It's NAS.
I want it faster. I don't want my backups to take 3 days. I want them to take 3 hours.
All right, from a local standpoint, yeah.
So I need to put some 10 gig stuff in my network to make that happen. So that's my goal. My goal is to, and MikroTik is the cheapest name in town to do that at a small, scale. So, and I figured, well, since I was going to go MikroTik for a small scale, for the 10 gig, I might as well do MikroTik also for the head end. And then I also bought a regular MikroTik switch because, well, you might as well consolidate and go with all one brand. So pretty soon the whole network's going to be MikroTik here.
Now, see, it's funny you say that because that's part of the reason why I said, you know what, if I'm going to clean things up, I'm going to get rid of my Unify access points and I'm going to go with but I'm at a point now where, you know what, it's working, so I'm not going to do anything. And I only have a 200 meg connection. So there's no point in me going too much crazier with it.
Yeah, there's definitely positives and negatives. I think I'll probably still stick with Unify for my access points because they work great. And I've got a wireless bridge out to my garage in the backyard, that I can't really beat. So, because you need 800 megabits in your backyard. That's a given. You need that speed when you're mowing the yard. I mean, if I can't stream 4K while I'm mowing the yard, what good is it? So, come on. So, I mean, that's just the whole thing is I just want the best thing, the right tool for the right job. So, that's all it is. Of course, my wife thinks that I just like buying new toys, which I did buy a new toy, and my wife said it seemed a bit excessive. I bought a new tool because I'm running some wires in a house, and I thought I need a tool. I need a new drill bit. Now, Mike, how unrealistic is it to buy a new drill bit? It shouldn't be something that you think is a big deal, right? Shouldn't
I know where you're going with this, but go ahead.
It shouldn't cause a disagreement. Your wife shouldn't say, "What the hell you need that for?" So let me show you the drill bit. Here it is. All right, it's only 54 inches tall. And she asked me why I needed that. And I said, why would I not need this? This is designed to go into the wall, bend, and then you can drill holes through ceiling, through the top of the wall, through the bottom of the wall, through whatever, and not have to cut extra drywall.
Yeah, you know what? I may wind up buying one of those as well to do electrical in my back room.
Yep. That's why I got one that's a little bit bigger than what I actually needed so that I could actually do that too. But she said, why do you need a 5-foot, a 5+ foot drill bit? I said, because I don't have one. The biggest drill bit I have is 2 foot long. I needed a bigger one. So, it's all about making sure you have the right tool for the right job. So yeah, that was my latest tool purchase. I told her I can't do a job and not buy a tool. You need those.
That was my. Yeah, how much was the bit?
$50.
That's not bad.
No, and then the little the handle thing to actually have it do the turn without using your hand, that's like another $15.
Yeah, well,
but you need to have that.
Yeah,
it's not required, but they said it makes it easier.
You got to have it.
Yeah, and it's
$10 a foot.
It's a buy it once. You buy it once, you use it a lot.
Buy once, cry once, and even if you didn't use it more than once, you could probably sell it on like Marketplace and get your money back.
Yeah, because nobody around here sells that. It's a special order kind of thing. I couldn't find it in Menards or Lowe's or Home Depot. Trust me, I looked. They don't sell this here. They sell drywall patch kits and expect you to put more holes in your wall. And that's not what I want to do.
Is there like a hole on the end of it for you to be able to clip a wire to it to pull it back through?
Yes, there is. Yeah, okay. to put a pull string on, and then you pull the pull string up, and then you pull the wire with that. Yep.
Nice.
Next investment is a pull string dart gun, actually, for running wire in suspended ceilings.
Okay, now you're just being
smart. I know. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. That sounds more like something one of those miniature drones would be better at. You just attach the wire to it, wave the drone through.
What's funny is some guy did take a tank, a radio-controlled tank, put a little, first-person camera module on it, and it was driving that through a suspended ceiling to run cabling for a school.
Well, sometimes I've thought about that. I've thought to see where. So I have the downspouts on the front of my house go underneath the lawn and empty out at the street.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to tie a drain from my driveway into that. So I thought if I got one of those fishing magnets and took the slow feeding ball that would normally go in, that used to go in my Labrador's bowl, I could trace where the pipe went and figure out exactly where to dig in order to meet it.
Yeah.
With the least amount of damage to my lawn.
Yeah.
The other option was to use a remote control car and just listen for it.
Yeah, I actually used a magnet to pull wire through conduit the other day, and it was great. It made life so much easier. Basically, we tied some twine onto the end of a nut, put the nut in the conduit. I got this big-ass neodymium magnet, put it on the side of the conduit, and just ran it down the conduit. And then the only thing you had to run into was occasionally where you got to a conduit clip or where the conduit spliced into another piece of conduit so it was double thick. Occasionally you had to flick the nut past that. But it made it really easy just to pull the pull string along. And now you've run a pull string in conduit that's already up on the wall.
So, Mama Blair saying, when I needed a 4-foot diameter frying pan, to me, that sounds like a Blackstone griddle.
Well, to me, it sounds like she's going for some type of Guinness record.
Well, that's my head says 4-foot wide frying pan. That I'm getting a Blackstone.
Or the other question is, how badly did Papa Blair screw up that she wants to hit him with that frying pan?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. 4-foot diameter. That's the width of a. It's got to be for decoration. There's got to be a story here. Colin, do you know the story? Can you tell us the story?
I know the frying pan. I do not remember the story.
Does she actually cook with the frying pan, or is it like decoration, or like is it the roof of a shed now?
Was she making a like gazebo or what?
I mean, they do actually have a Blackstone now, so I'm not sure if that thing's being used at all.
Let me look.
I'm thinking like a 4-foot diameter frying pan. Like this is like a plow disc grill kind of thing.
15 feet in diameter, weighing 2 tons, is the largest frying pan on record. So it's not unheard of to have gigantic frying pans, but I can't find one that for sale that is. Wayfarer only goes up to 14 inches. So
So I'm going to before I send this through, I'm going to say that the first 4 words of this are the basis of a Gallagher stand-up skit.
It was on sale.
It was on sale. That's how I wound up with a machete.
Yes. Oh.
Walking through Home Depot, it was on sale.
Well, at one
they get
point,
me with the little cardboard cutout section of the seasonal crap, especially around Christmas time, because they got all the stocking stuffers there. And I would not have thought that a machete would be a stocking stuffer, but at that price, you're damn right. The rest of my family is lucky that they didn't get machetes for Christmas.
Okay, so Paella Pans sells a 40-inch carbon steel one. I'm still trying to find a 48-inch pan, and boy, that is difficult. If you found it, you found like the white whale of frying pans. So a good job for buying it. Just for the rarity of it.
I believe they're usually called like cowboy frying.
They use it on the open fire. So yeah, it's basically like a frying pan that's like taking the place of a plow disc type grill, which I've seen people make before. Okay. All right.
So, I think just for fun, she should keep that on the stove and use it for when company comes over. Say for a light meal.
Well, they have an induction burner, and it does not like.
I know it would not work, but
Well, no, it would be a great idea if it was a gas one, but you don't want that much heat stuck underneath the pan like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that'd be fun.
So,
and how many damn eggs do you crack to cook and fill a 4-foot pan?
I don't know. You definitely need more than.
Are you feeding the entire campground? Not your campsite, campground.
I mean, that's bigger than. That's the size of their camper.
That's true, man. You'd be making a meal that would give the murder toilet a run for its money. That's for sure.
Oh, the punishment to the murder toilet after a meal that large. That would be horrible.
But here's the thing I would say to the question about how many eggs. Eggs are cheap.
They're not expensive. They are not expensive.
Well, it's the kind of thing where you try it at least once. It only costs you about a couple bucks.
You know what else is cheap right now? And Colin, right up your alley. There's a new subscription service which is launching, which sounds like you've done AMC Stubs. You've bought into Disney. I think this is going your way. Taco Bell is testing a new 30-day taco subscription. It's called the Taco Lovers Pass, which runs for between $5 and $10 depending on the location, and it's eligible for free tacos every day for 30 days.
And wait, what law do you have to violate for them to give this to you?
Well, it's a new pilot program from Taco Bell. that basically to cash in on your taco, you go to Taco Bell's app where you can order a crunchy taco, spicy potato soft taco, taco supreme, soft supreme, taco Doritos Locos taco, or any of those. And because you're a member of this Taco Pass, Taco Lovers Pass, bingo. Taco.
Okay, so here's a little known fact that I really don't discuss much. I don't really like tacos very much. I don't really understand tacos. Because you get a taco, you bite into a taco, if it's a hard shell taco, and then it self-destructs in your hand and gets all over you.
And then you wear the taco.
And then you wear the taco.
Now, here's the thing. If it's a good shell, which thereby eliminates Taco Bell from this conversation.
Yeah.
But if it is a good taco shell, then it does not self-destruct like the crap you get there.
Yeah.
I've gone to authentic, like, Mexican restaurants, and I've gotten tacos, and the shells did not self-destruct. Plus, they're also stuffed properly.
Authentic.
So you have some rigidity. You have some support down there at the bottom.
Yeah, you've got a taco that took Viagra. Yep. So you're authentic Mexican. So like Chi-Chi's.
But no.
Pollo Loco.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm out of taco chains now.
Exactly.
If I go to a Mexican restaurant, I have much better things I could get, like a burger.
Oh yeah. No, I totally agree. To me, tacos are usually an appetizer when you go to a good Mexican restaurant.
But, yeah. Have you had a burra? Do you know what a burra is?
Burra, no.
It's a donkey.
That's burro.
So
it's a girl donkey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so imagine a burrito, okay, but instead of wrapping completely, let's say it's a big tortilla,
mm-hmm.
but it's kind of wrapped more taco style, so it's over sideways, right?
So it's a lazy
and
burrito.
Toppings, okay, but the important thing is I didn't tell you is it isn't just a tortilla; it's a quesadilla. So you have a giant quesadilla that itself is wrapped over more fillings like a burrito.
Sounds like something that should be a Taco Bell. So
it is a wonderful thing.
Other ideas.
That sounds like a giant version of the Gordita Crunch. Anyway.
What this is showing, though, is that businesses are embracing the subscription model. Because Taco Bell not the only one to do this. Panera launched a daily coffee subscription for $9 a month.
Which is stupid as hell.
Yeah.
I'm not going out of my way to get a cup of Panera coffee. And they know you're not going into Panera for just coffee.
No, and that's the deal with most of these things, is they're going to get you with the other items, you know? Popeyes has now launched a program based on, repeat purchases through their app. Chipotle has in-app rewards programs. I know that other ones do too.
A lot of them. Wawa, Dunkin' Donuts, all the apps have some kind of reward program. Yeah. I probably have about $9,000 in Speedway rewards that I have I never go into the store to see what I can actually get. Let me look to see in my app. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I can get a new car.
Yeah, I
at this point.
I don't know if you guys have it, but we have Thornton's gas stations here, and they have a refreshing rewards where basically you get 3 cents off a gallon just for being a rewards member, which brings it down to regular price, and then they throw extra crap at you, but all the extra crap is come into the store and you can get 2 Mountain Dews for the price of 1, or you can get 2 candy bars for 1, or hey, buy this extra energy drink, or free fountain drink, or whatever it is. It's all the garbage in the store that's already so overpriced anyway.
Oh, well, this is embarrassing. I don't even have the Speedway app on my phone. So I've been scanning my stupid card every time my Speedway rewards card. I don't even know what I get anymore. I could get it, but I may have won a brand new car. Who knows? Let's see. Maybe it's in the promotions. Now I'm looking to see. When's the last time I got an email from these?
Yeah, so let's see here. I was going to look up and see what the most recent junk that I could get from Thornton's was, because I know that I activated
rewards
like some 6 cents off a gallon, earlier. There we go. Oh, didn't log me in that time. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so 20 cents off a gallon for E85 fuel that I don't use. 25 cents off a gallon for super grade unleaded. Save $2 when you buy 3 brisk iced teas. 50 cents off of Trident single or pocket pack. So many people buy gum at the gas station. Muscle milk. Save $1.
Muscle milk.
Buy one, get one on V8. Or Kinder Bueno. Save 75 cents when you purchase 2. Yeah, things that I have never bought at Thornton's.
Let's see. Redeem points. Let's see. In store. Let's see now. I have over 17,000 Speedway reward points. So let's just...
So can you get like a Miata?
Let's keep scrolling. I don't know, man. Let's see. I can get a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card and still have points left over. Apparently they only go up to all right, so at 18,000 points, I can get a $15 gift card to a number of places. But right now, I could go in and what could I get right now? I could get a $10 gift card. I could get K-Cups. I could probably feed a family of 4 with my points right now. Between sandwiches and donuts and coffee and stuff. So,
yeah. So it's just...
Let's see. I have points on Disney movie insiders. So, when you buy those movies from Disney, you get the number in it where you put it in the website and get...
yeah.
So I have... let's see. I actually used some points recently. I had 6,000 points. So that's enough for 2.5 $25 gift cards.
The only
but the other things that you get are just kind of...
The only program I've ever really leveraged, I think, to its fullest was probably the Best Buy Reward Zone points. And that's because I saved them up all year, and then I got gift cards to buy Christmas presents with. But that was back when Best Buy had things in the store. So that doesn't even work anymore.
So I've been saving up, I've been stockpiling, because pretty much all of our big vet bills go on to Care Credit, and they converted that over to a rewards card. So I've been stockpiling those reward points as Amazon gift cards. And eventually, with the way things have been going, at this time next year, I'll be able to buy a new computer.
There you go. Your vet bills are going to afford you a new machine. So,
or new PA speakers, one of the two.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Now, the crazy number of points I have is Southwest Airlines flyer points. I
Speaking,
have enough that I could probably fly for the next 10 years, only paying security fees.
speaking of restaurants, have you guys heard the trouble McDonald's is in?
Which one?
Yo, this is crazy when the Federal Trade Commission says you done messed up, Ron. It's bad enough. There's always been a joke that there's a website that people, it's almost like Waze, where people can tell whether a McDonald's ice cream machine is broken or not.
Yep.
And now the FTC is looking into the McFlurry machines, which apparently is a different machine than the ice cream machine. But they should look into both of them.
Oh my God. Yeah, one such website you can look at is mcbroken.com.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yes, to find out, is McDonald's ice cream machine broken? And you know what's weird is we have fairly reliable ice cream machines here in Central Illinois, I guess. So I was more looking at like Rallies or Checkers and other places, but they're the ones that are constantly broken, and I just want a banana milkshake. Their shake and ice cream machines are forever broken. And
Banana milkshake, so you could mentally think you're being healthy.
well, I just happen to like it, and they have them year round. Whereas I have to wait for McDonald's to get like the eggnog shake, or the Shamrock shake. Otherwise, it's just chocolate all year.
Nothing wrong with that.
I never quite understand why anybody cares. If you want a shake if you want a cup of ice cream that's been blended with other things, Dairy Queen's much better at that.
But their lines are longer, and I have to wait longer, and it's a pain in the butt, and sometimes I want fries.
Dairy Queen by us is not a Dairy Queen by you. Okay, Dairy Queen by us. I see these commercials for the burgers, the Dairy Queen meals and all. We don't have that. Dairy Queen is strictly ice cream and hot dogs here. All right? Now, that being said, it's not a drive-through. So if you got screaming kids that are occupied by their tablets that are hooked up to your in-car Wi-Fi, you will wait in line at McDonald's. Plus, if you have kids in the back seat, one is going to want a McFlurry, one is going to want pancakes, one is going to want chicken nuggets. All of them are going to want French fries, and damn it, make sure you give me 3 different toys.
Don't need no freaking apple slices either.
You have
Double
to
up
look
them
at
fries.
this. You have to look at this from a parent's perspective, because kids don't care if it's ice cream and it's a McDonald's cup. It's better because it says McDonald's on it.
Not only that, but you got that old man on the street who gave away those coupons for Halloween out of the McDonald's coupon book.
Now, see, around here, we don't do the McDonald's coupons. We do the Wendy's coupons for free Frosties. Because if we have any left over, we can use them ourselves.
Yeah.
Because personally, I like Wendy's Frosty better than McDonald's shakes because, well, I don't know. The last time I had a McDonald's shake was probably 1987 before the thing was broken.
Well, we always joke that, at least at Rallies and Checkers, that the machine's broken because they borrowed the parts to fix their vehicles. So
now, and of course, around here, if you really want ice cream with fast food, go to Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic is very good.
I don't like a slush though, and that's what Sonic pushes here. Is they're all about the slushes.
But they have Sonic Blast. They have the milkshakes.
I know, but their fries are horrible. I want a burger done correctly.
Who's getting fries? You go to Sonic, you're getting tots.
Well, I don't want tots with my burger. Tots are for breakfast.
No, tots are good anytime. They're better than anything.
No, because I'll tell you what, my tell you what my wife says. My wife wants French fries to dip in her chocolate shake or in her Frosty. She doesn't want tots.
But tots you could put on a spoon and just dunk.
It's not the same. It is not.
It's
the
better.
Same.
Right, it's better.
No, it's not. It's not better. Try and tell an Italian woman who's set in her ways that what you think is better.
I will. I don't have to go home with her. I'll tell her.
You may not
I don't
go
care
home.
if she gets pissed off. That's your problem.
So just to loop back, here's one little secret that's important to know.
Mm-hmm.
Dairy Queen has online ordering.
Yeah. So does McDonald's.
Right. I'm just saying, you go somewhere else, you get your fries and stuff. You go ahead and order your Dairy Queen.
No, I
and
refuse.
you just go to the Dairy Queen and pick it up.
I outright refuse to go to multiple restaurants for a meal. That is bull.
No. Listen, if you're going to do that in Jersey, we have these things. They're getting fewer and fewer, but we have these things called diners.
Mm-hmm.
And a good diner has the old school milkshake machine that they'll make you a malted, and you'll get the silver cup that they blended in because there's extra. So when you drink down, you can top yourself off.
Yeah, see, and if you want that here, you will go to Steak and Shake.
Yes, that's what
thing.
I was going to myself going, why did I forget Steak and Shake? Yes, we go to Steak and Shake.
Yeah, we'll get Dairy Queen via Uber Eats or DoorDash here, which, depending on which app my wife decides to order it through, it's a crapshoot as to whose card's getting charged. So that's always a fun game.
I am still not a fan of Uber Eats or DoorDash. Mostly because of all the videos you see and all the posts and everything you see about the delivery drivers eating your food or doing other things to your delivery. I am still a big proponent of getting my own food. Now, I know the people in the kitchen may be spitting in my burger. All right? I know that because I was back in the kitchen.
Right.
All right,
but that's why all the restaurants are now putting seals on the food, because people saw that on YouTube. So now food all comes with seals that you can tell. Okay, well, I have gotten Dairy Queen delivered, even though it's like 2 blocks that way.
You know, I just
My thing is, I'll order from a restaurant directly through their website if that's my first option. Because then I know they're not getting a cut from,
right,
or they're not paying anybody for promotion. They're not losing anything. Some pizza places I will do slice, but the thing with slice that I've noticed is if you look at you could go side by side and look at the menu for the pizza place online and look at the slice menu, and guess what? The slice menu is a couple dollars more. So, yeah, they're not paying, Slice isn't charging a crazy fee and all, but no, guess what? Everybody's jacking up their prices.
There's a surcharge for it somewhere, yeah.
It's baked in, so let's not be...
Yeah. There's a restaurant down the street here. It's called, I don't know, Shaggy, here. It's the Main Gate Bar and Grill. It's across from the State Fairgrounds.
I'm familiar with it.
So... that restaurant actually is available at DoorDash in like 80 different restaurants. It'll be like Fire Chicken Wings and Colonel Cluck's Chicken Wings and like all these different chicken companies. You go and you click on each one of them on DoorDash. It's all Main Gate Bar and Grill. Just whatever reason they decided to fill DoorDash with themselves with the same menu multiple times.
Yeah.
It's just looking going. I've heard of all these ghost kitchens and stuff, but that's just a bit ridiculous. It's not even a ghost kitchen anymore. It's just the personality disorder kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a strange time, but we do have a savior. There is one person who has come back from what some people thought is the dead to bring us all together and to explain things that we needed explained.
Miley Cyrus.
No, we're still not sure that she is actually alive. She might still be dead.
Randy Quaid.
No, the Star Whackers are still after him. He is still in hiding. I'm talking about Steve Burns. And that is not a relative of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. That is the original host of Blue's Clues.
So listen, I don't exactly understand. First of all, I didn't know he was missing. I didn't know that this was a thing until he showed up on, who was it, Colbert, and Colbert started crying because he was so happy to see him. I didn't know the guy was missing.
Well, he was there one day. Next day, we had his Asian cousin.
Well,
so, you know.
They did that with Aunt Viv and nobody went crazy.
But Aunt Viv was, not liked.
They did that with Dick Sargent, and nobody went crazy.
Yeah, but nobody knows Dick. So, you know.
Well, they
I
sort
walked
of
right
did.
into that one, didn't I?
So, this was interesting because, you have a children's show which becomes instantly beloved, right? I mean, everybody knew Blue's Clues. It for some reason, it was like the Teletubbies. It just went, instantly famous. For who knows why? All right, it just
for saying racial slurs.
Blue's Clues said racial slurs.
I didn't Teletubbies. That little pink bastard, didn't he used to say faggot or something?
I don't think it wasn't. If it was said, I don't believe it was intentional. I will have to. Somebody needs to Google that while we're looking it up. We can't just leave that hanging out there and not substantiate it one way or the other. But I don't believe Tinky Winky said that. Maybe.
It was a toy.
It was a toy that said it.
It was a toy.
Not the actual person playing the triangle character on television.
Teletubbies doll incidents. Okay, I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was a Poe doll from play school that was thought to be saying.
Okay.
But it was actually saying fidit, which is Cantonese for faster and faster. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, apologize to Tinky Winky.
I'm sorry, Tinky Winky. You purple, and it was and Tinky Winky's purple. So I was completely. And apparently, Tinky Winky does have controversy, though, because I'm getting all my wires crossed, and I'll blame the alcohol. Tinky Winky had controversy because in 1999, Jerry Falwell started a campaign alleging that the character was a gay role model
because of the triangle.
Citing a Washington Post column which stated lesbian comedian Ellen DeGeneres was out as the chief national gay representative, while trendy Tinky Winky was in. Tinky Winky was a hidden homosexual symbol because he is purple, which is the gay pride color, and his antenna is shaped like a triangle, the gay pride symbol. So, in conclusion, I really should not be drinking during the show.
So, but Steve came back for the 25th anniversary of Blue's Clues, and came and explained what happened to him, dressed as Steve from Blue's Clues, and
wait, before you go on.
Yeah,
it's Steve from Blue's Clues explaining it.
Yes,
the explanation has nothing to do with the actual person.
Well, it is him.
No, it's him in his Blue's Clues persona, not him, the actual actor.
No, it's him, the actual
I
actor.
really need to stop drinking.
Explaining-
What?
No, because him, the actual actor, that's not the reason why he left the show.
Well, that is...
Oh, wait.
Are
okay,
you saying
so
that they're whitewashing why he left the show?
They're not whitewashing, it's just that's... Okay.
So he's
The
making
actual
up a
actor
story.
himself was a college dropout. So the college years before he was actually on the show. He left the show because he was getting too old to be on the show anymore. And more importantly, he was rapidly losing all of his hair. So he left the show so that he could go ahead and do what the show wouldn't let him do, which is go ahead and shave his head. So the two reasons he actually left the show was because he was getting too old for the show and he wanted to shave his head.
Okay, getting too old. All right. Kind of understand that one. You know, it's a children's show, but they don't want to have Grandpa Steve up there wanting to shave his head. I have no words for that one. I wouldn't quit a job just because I wanted to shave my head.
Well, I think it was mostly because he was getting too old. And part of the reason he was getting too old was he was losing all of his hair.
So the character, I think what Colin is saying is the character explained as a storyline that he left because he went to college.
Correct.
Okay. It's not...
Okay. Okay, I got
wow, this is like some Inception type crap happening here, man.
But anyway, regardless, it seemed weird that the person to bring us all together was the character on a children's show started back in early 2000. You know, it's the one thing nobody can shove any vitriol at, right? Nobody. Yep. Well, I can't say nobody because it is the internet, but you know, everybody can come together and go, "Oh, it's Steve," you know, and they can be happy about hearing him and seeing him on the screen again in the Blue's Clues look and everything like that. That nobody could say, "Well, obviously it's a leftist agenda," or you know, obviously it's a far right conspiracy theory. You know, nobody could say that about this, which is refreshing.
Well,
unless maybe there's something out there that says that he's pushing a vaccine mandate secretly behind the scenes, and if you run the videotape backwards, it says, put a needle in your arm. I don't know. I haven't actually run it backwards. So this could be, you know, something that I don't know about.
Yeah. So, listen, I disagree that that's what united the nation, because a new trailer came out, and I think the entire world is now united trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I'm talking, of course, about The Matrix Resurrections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one where, for some reason, Neo looks into a mirror and Michelangelo looks back at him?
Well, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, pun intended, about what the story is going to entail. But what I did find out through, and the Wachowski, Laura or Lana, I don't know which one, Lana is the only one doing this one.
Yeah.
She said this was written to basically ignore parts 2 and 3 of the original trilogy.
Oh.
Because, well, they sucked.
Okay.
Really now?
I think I read something that that particular part wasn't true, but I can't. Well, I didn't find the original thing saying that. So
I will tell you that there has already been a a rumor started, we'll call it,
Go for it.
that the end of Matrix 4, Matrix Resurrections, will set up a Matrix 5.
Oh, of course. That should be a given, because The Matrix was quite possibly one of the last great original movies of that decade, like an original concept.
Yeah, it was. I can remember discussing it in my college computers and society course.
But I recall after the first movie, colleges were actually creating courses, like core courses about the Matrix, and they fulfilled a religious elective because of all of the religious type parallels in the story. So it was basically that. Look, you give me a college degree, a curriculum where all I'm doing is comparing movies and to like societal events. Listen, you give me a year, I'll teach that class with a doctorate because in high school I got in trouble for trying to compare a societal caste system to the movie Aliens.
Yeah.
And the teacher said I was out of my mind and gave me an F on the paper, but guess what? I thought it was. I still think it was genius.
Well, it even got so far as back in the Capaldi time of Doctor Who, it was.
I don't acknowledge that time.
It's better than the current time. But it was.
I will agree with that.
It was thought of as they even parodied it as one of the storylines.
So, to your point about and anybody, if you watch the trailer, you'll see the scene that we're talking about, where you see Neo in front of a mirror, and it looks like Michelangelo, but actually it's just an older Neo. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of blue pills in here, and at one point, only one point does Neo take a red pill, which leads me to believe he is forcing himself to stay in the Matrix after suffering the loss of Trinity.
And by the way, the image.
Yeah, that's a common belief. Yes.
And
right?
by the image I'm referring to is this one here, where
Yes.
you see the reflection.
But here's my other issue. Didn't Neo actually kind of die at the end of the third one and was like absorbed into the Matrix?
That's also a scene in the trailer.
Okay, so
There's a scene in the trailer. I need to go back and find it because I actually haven't seen this, but I just read that there's a scene in the trailer showing the machines putting his body back together.
Oh, really now? Okay, that's quite interesting.
And there's another. I don't know if it's a confirmed rumor or not, but I think it was fairly well established. Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, he is in it.
Is in this movie.
Yeah, he's in the trailer.
He's Neo's shrink.
Which should be interesting.
And I also believe who's the other one that's in there? Jonathan Groff is in it.
Yeah, we have a new
scene in the trailer.
We have a new Morpheus type character in there.
Well, and that's another rumor that's actually young Morpheus. That Neo somehow went back and was the one who freed Morpheus from the Matrix. So Neo.
The other one is if the Matrix Online is still in canon like it's supposed to be, Morpheus actually died during that.
So this has the potential to either be great Or it's going to have me sitting there like I was at the end of Tenet, like, what did I just watch?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's for sure.
Seriously, I put it out on Twitter and nobody responded to me, so I'm assuming that nobody on the face of this earth can explain to me exactly what the whole point of Tenet was. Let's.
I could try, but what's the point?
No, don't. Please don't. Shaggy, you posted up an article that really, it kind of is like the cherry on top of the dumpster fire that is California.
Okay.
And the fact that people they actually had to pass a law to prevent something that I didn't even know was like. I've often joked that I never knew that I had restless leg syndrome until somebody played a commercial describing it.
Yeah.
Like I never thought, like somebody came up with a drug and said, "Hey, guess what? After we noticed that people slept a lot more still after taking this drug. So how can we market it? Restless legs syndrome." Yeah.
If I had originally said, "What do you think stealthing is?" If I didn't know, I'd have said, "Oh, well, that's when somebody paints their car all black, they black out their windows, and they put covers over their taillights and their headlights, and they're just, trying to speed at night and not get caught."
So I would have thought that if you told me it like stealthing in the form of another possibility would be it's the next level of ghosting.
Yeah.
Someone where you're setting them up without them realizing you're the one setting them up.
Yeah.
I never in my wildest dreams would have connected this to any kind of sexual act.
Or if you did, you would think, well, that's some Urban Dictionary position thing.
But actually, now that I'm reading it, like, there's something that, like, I would have thought. So this actually says that making non-consensual condom removal illegal, which means you took the time to put it on, and at some point during the actions, you took it off.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all what I would have thought. My first thought, if you told me that this was a sexual thing, would have been basically the plot point from Knocked Up, where he lied and said he put it on because he was so excited to sleep with Katherine Heigl, and she was so excited to actually have somebody want to sleep with her because she's an evil bitch, that they forewent the birth control route. Right. Therefore, you pretended. Therefore, you were. That I would have went that way with it. Not. I for the life of me, I don't understand this one.
Yeah. So like Mike said, California becomes the first state to pass stealthing bill, making non-consensual condom removal illegal, which, like we said, we didn't know was a thing, right? Just because we would never imagine doing it, but there are many other things that we would never imagine doing that we know are things and need laws, right? So we know taking a gun on a subway and shooting the entire car full of passengers, that's a thing. And it's against the law, and there should be a law to stop you from doing that. We know that. There's no way we'd think this is a thing. Because why would it be a thing? Like Mike said, you took the trouble to have one, to put it on, and you both parties agreed this is what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Literally, this is how we're going to do it. And then some point midway through, you decided, I'm going to unilaterally change the terms of this agreement, and you withdrew part of the contract. So, you know, I mean, I don't get it. I
just don't get why it wasn't already illegal. Why did it need to be made illegal? I mean, in today's climate, that's pretty much, you know, under the definitions, and I'm not saying to say under the definitions that have been used recently for rape. That's just rape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's unwanted sexual contact. You had wanted sexual contact when it was on, and then when it was off, that's unwanted sexual contact. So, yeah, why isn't it just already covered under that? Yeah, this is now the bill named AB 543 deems stealthing as a form of sexual battery in the California Civil Code.
Okay, so this may be more. So the reality may be more what Colin is saying. It sounds like they revised and added this as a form of, or a defined form of sexual battery under the existing law. They didn't pass a brand new bill.
So what this says is that
still,
at some point
they have to
at some point
define this out.
In order for somebody to have to have done this, that means that some judge had to have had a case come before him where he said, nope, if he rips it off, after you already start, that's okie dokie. Because that's the only time at which we have to go in and add these clarifications to existing laws to say, nope, let's close this loophole.
Yeah, really.
You know, what idiot of a judge said that was okay, or that was even within, I just don't get this.
Or it's more likely to be a confused jury.
What jury in the world? I can't imagine a group of regular citizens saying, oh, you know what, if that happened to my mom or my sister or my daughter, that would be hunky-dory, and I can see where we wouldn't be able to prosecute them under that. Yeah. I just can't.
But, I understand, but that's what happened. I mean, so many times over the last umpteen years, why so many rapists got off. And it's because we had too many men on there going, that seems a little bit like that one time. I better say not guilty, because otherwise maybe I was guilty.
And what's interesting is it hasn't been signed yet. This is one, and the governor hasn't even commented on whether he will sign it or not. He has until October 10th to sign it, but has not commented one way or the other.
He was a bit distracted.
Yes, agreed, but you would think this would be one of the simplest wins he could put in his column, because I can't imagine either side opposing this. When we talk about unilateral issues that, both sides should be able to agree upon, one would think this should be it. Right? And he can come out and say, listen, I signed this thing, find a problem with it. So, it's just, again, it's these things that why do we have this? Why do we have this? Why should we need to have this? Sickos out there, that's why. Oh, moving on. Sad news yesterday. Comic performer Norm Macdonald died after a 10-year battle with cancer. It was a fairly private battle with cancer that he had. He did not make a big deal about it, but it was a long-fought battle with cancer, and he finally succumbed to it after 61 years. I read a couple of articles in which they referenced his autobiography, and they were a couple of people had asked him throughout the years if he was disappointed or regretted anything in his life, especially once he was out of Saturday Night Live. If he felt like a failure after his run with Saturday Night Live was over because he didn't go on to bigger things. like so many other members of SNL had. And he said he never looked at anything as a failure. He always looked at it as you have to bet big to win big, but you have to also be willing to take the losses and just keep on going. He goes, the most fun you ever have is holding the dice and throwing them, but you have to not care how they land. You have to be okay with any result. And so that's what he was. He goes, I'm not disappointed in anything. I got to travel all over the world. I got to do what I wanted. Everyone thought from the moment I was born the most I would be was a laborer. So I already exceeded everyone's expectations. So a great sentiment from a very funny guy, a very talented man, who did make us laugh a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, very... I'm putting it up just so it doesn't seem like I'm annoying, but it kind of moved. And that's my fault. It really came as a shock. Like, when I logged on to Twitter and I saw his name was trending, I was like, oh, what happened now? 9 times out of 10 these days, when you click on somebody's name and it's trending on Twitter, it's not because they passed away. And I think I let out a verbal scream, like, oh, my God.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know anything about his battle with cancer at all until I read the obituary.
Yeah.
That's the way he wanted it.
Yeah, he didn't want that to become the focus of his life, which is, not everybody wants that focus. They don't want that to define them, especially in their remaining years. And he did have a good long time after it was discovered. So, you have to look towards that. Not everybody gets that lucky, unfortunately. So.
Oh, yeah. But at least he didn't. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to move on to another topic, but go ahead.
So I forgot to keep watch. So SpaceX did launch Inspiration 4. So that's going right now.
Is this the first all-civilian space flight? Did I read that?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the first all-civilian orbiting spaceflight. They'll be up there going around Earth for 3 days.
Well,
it was like they launched about 5 minutes ago.
And when they land, they can land on an Indian reservation and get a free car.
That's right. Elon Musk has been at constant odds with legislators and the auto union industry, and it seems like he found a loophole. After years of trying to find a way to establish a dealership where he could sell his Tesla vehicles and have people do test drives and everything else, he finally
in New Mexico.
Yeah. He finally found a way to do it by repurposing a defunct casino in an Indian reservation.
Okay.
Hey, it's the closest thing, to the to the Pope place that we have in the United States, to Vatican City that we have in the U.S.
And this could become a trend.
It could be.
Because I'm sure that there's also some kind of tax implications for being there.
I'm sure, and I'm sure that it's a lucrative deal to the reservation occupants. I'm sure he's not doing this just for nothing.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, I'm sure he's contributing to them. He's probably hiring.
Yes.
Residents from the reservation, travel members.
I would assume so.
Yeah, I'm sure it's definitely got to be mutually beneficial. I'm sure. But that is such a Elon Musk move.
It is, isn't it?
It really is.
It's just.
And I could just see him working that deal in it, smoking a peace pipe, wink, wink, with the tribal elders.
Yeah.
And look, that's probably, it legitimizes them as well, because I know there's a stereotypical opinion that a lot of these reservations are only good for cigarettes and casinos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, because you don't pay. They got a bad rep with the whole Western Sky lending thing. I don't know if you guys remember about that one.
No, I don't think I do.
All right, so Western Sky Lending, they used to advertise it late night. It was like those one of those same day loan type deals. Mm-hmm. But because it was operated from a bank that was on a Native American reservation, they weren't subject to FDIC rules, and they were charging like 29% interest on the loan. So a $10,000 loan wound up costing you like $84,000 by the time you paid it back.
Yeah, if you stick to the suggested payment plan, a $5,000 loan will cost a grand total of $40,872, more than 8 times the original loan amount. A $10,000 loan could end up costing $62,453.
Yeah. So I mean, they were quickly put out of business, but those were the kinds of things that typically were associated with it. And then they got a bad rep with Sons of Anarchy, because the motorcycle club used the Indian reservation to make their ammunition that they were selling as part of the gun trade. So, I mean, there was that stereotype. This helps to alleviate that.
Yeah.
When you start getting these folks coming in, I'm sure that's going to help other businesses on their land.
Well, and not only that, but in this case, they're using a defunct casino. So a building which was otherwise sitting empty and unused and just cluttering up the land, is going to be put back into purpose. Isn't that the goal for every unoccupied building and unused building, is to give it a purpose again rather than just being an eyesore?
Not in New Jersey.
Well, I know, but they're trying to make it. They're trying to go for the dystopian look in New Jersey, so they're working towards their goal.
Okay.
Post-apocalyptic is their new motto. I think you're going to start seeing it on license plates.
Listen,
Mad Max starts here.
Oh, I saw an article. I should have saved this one. Apparently, there's an auction happening for a bunch of the vehicles from Fury Road, including the war rig and the giant speaker truck.
Yep.
Fleet of Mad Max Fury Road cars, including Max's Razor, Cola, and Furioso's War Rig, are being auctioned off. So, yes, looks like a lot of vehicles are going to go off. Lloyd's Auction House.
The Doof Wagon. That right there. Let me tell you something. Man.
You would buy that to annoy the neighbors?
Oh, you have no idea. I would roll that through town, and I would let the neighbors' kids play that guitar. He's only 7, by the way.
So, yeah, it does look like they are definitely, ready for auction, and it'll be interesting to see who purchases those and what they do with them after purchase. So, but yeah.
The biggest problem is I believe they're all in Australia, so.
Well,
let's be real. If I could afford to bid on any of them, I could afford to transport. So.
Yeah, it is Australia-based auction site. So, but there is a local 1-800 number for auction contact, so you're okay.
So, all right. So we got Shaggy. We had a list. I think we should go through this list before we. Where the hell did it go? You post up a list of movies I think that couldn't be made today.
Oh yeah. So there was,
and I think we've covered something like this before, but it may have just been an informal conversation. So this is an actual list.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of these slideshow lists. So it's thevibe.com. We'll go through it so you don't have to. Posted a list of movies that couldn't be made today. So, and right off the bat, they're kind of wrong. Aladdin.
There's a shocker.
Aladdin, the 1992 animated version. They're saying you couldn't make that today, although they just made a live-action version of it in 2019.
Yeah.
Now,
so they made a live-action version which wasn't whitewashed.
Yeah. They're saying that it's full of stereotypical Middle Eastern, Middle Eastern stereotypes, as well as a problematic portrayal of
monkeys.
A princess in distress who needs to be rescued by a poor, farmhand. Yeah. So I just think they couldn't remake it because you don't have Robin Williams anymore.
Exactly. That's the only reason you can't remake it. You tried to remake it with Will Smith, and guess what? It's all fugazi now. Yeah. The second one on this list is Stripes, and they're saying the whole plot revolves around wacky military hijinks culminating in a faux war with the Soviet Union. I disagree, because they remade Red Dawn.
Well,
so as long as they pick the right country, I think it could get remade.
Well, and
I think the bigger issue here is by remaking it and making a mockery of basic training, you're discouraging people from actually joining, or you're painting the wrong picture. Think about Top Gun, all right?
Yeah.
And Bob Goldthwait famously did this. He's like, Top Gun, I want to fly that plane like Tom Cruise. No. Next thing you know, you're hanging off the side of an aircraft carrier with a barnacle scraper. Just that's your job.
Yeah. Well, and also, I don't think Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, John Candy, you had icons in that one. Who are you going to get? Yeah, who are you going to get now?
Judge Reinhold?
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't afford a movie with all that star power of today's stars.
I think the biggest problem is there's lots of very nice campers, but there's nothing like that GMC camper anymore that they used in that movie. And the camper is the most important thing in that movie. So
yeah, it would have all slide outs, and we don't do that. That it wouldn't work when you're rolling down the road.
Yeah.
So exactly. This one you couldn't do today.
We've agreed.
We talked about it before. Soul Man. The idea of a white person taking so much tanner pills that they become dark complexion enough where they believe to be African American. We already had a woman try this, and she was basically canceled for it. Yeah. So you can't make a movie about it. Next one up, Animal House. There are definitely some scenes in Animal House which you probably couldn't remake today that would cause us issues.
Let's be clear. There's a difference between having a couple of scenes versus not being able to remake a whole movie. Soul Man?
Yeah.
You cannot. There is no way that you can redo that movie, period. End of discussion. Animal House, they did, and it was called Neighbors.
Well, not only that, but in Animal House, if I remember correctly, like the big one which would be controversial today is the girl who passes out. The underage girl who passes.
Because there's only one.
Well, I'm just going to say a big one is the underage girl who appears to be underage, who still lives with her parents at least, who gets drunk and passes out, and then you see the two devils pop up on the guy's shoulders, telling him what to do. One, you never see him do anything to her when she's passed out, other than put her in a shopping cart and drop her off at her parents' doorstep. All right, so that one, nothing actually happened there, which could be implied as improper.
Wait. Didn't they do it on the football field? And that's when she told him she was. But hold on. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this was also a plot point in Old School.
I'm sure.
Oh, that's the problem. It's been remade many, many times already.
Yeah, Old School, he actually slept with her and found out after that it was his boss's daughter.
Yeah. So
the other one is the scene in the club with Otis Day. And I didn't know this, but the studio executives actually consulted Richard Pryor to make sure that the scene was not offensive.
Yeah. So at least they, at least they consulted someone. Now, whether or not he is the spokesman for all African American people, who knows? But at the time, he probably was.
Yeah. So this next one, I don't understand.
So Batman Forever from 1995.
Because it was bad?
So
because it was Val Kilmer?
I'm not sure
should have
why.
been made in the first place?
Because Jim Carrey was in it, or because
Well, okay. Between you, look, this is a Cobbler moment, obviously, because I think Jim Carrey stole the show in that movie. It was Tommy Lee Jones that I could not stand in this movie.
I think Jim Carrey did a good job of playing the 1960s version of the Riddler.
Well, yes. I
think Tommy Lee Jones didn't know what he was really doing to play Two-Face. I think he probably had no concept of the backstory of the character or anything. Because he doesn't, to me, seem like a comic book guy. All right? And I doubt that I don't even know how much Two-Face was shown in the 1960s version of Batman.
If any. And also, most of the depictions of Two-Face up to that point were terrible anyway. The one good version of... Batman the Animated Series is just the best Batman across the board, period. Including, they did a really good Two-Face, and their version of Mr. Freeze has basically become the definitive Mr. Freeze backstory that they use in the comic books.
Oh my God. William Shatner was the 1960s version of Two-Face. Did anyone else know that?
No.
Yes. No. Yes, he was. William Shatner. William frickin' Shatner. This is no word of a lie. He played Harvey Dent.
That's how they did Two-Face.
I believe so.
Wow. Okay. And, well, there we go. There's the next one.
Yeah, so, 16 Candles. A lot of John Hughes films probably could fall into this for a scene or two.
Yeah.
But in general, most John Hughes movies, they're all cult classics. So, other than an occasional stereotype here or there, or a slightly sexually explicit scene here or there, I don't see where it's that bad.
If you're going to say it could not be made today, you have to say that, if you can take out a line here, a line there, and not break the original plot, then that doesn't qualify.
Honestly, I think they could change the character to make it make him more like the exchange student from the last couple seasons of The Last Man Standing, right? Pretty normal, but still culturally different enough to make it clear he's an exchange student. And you could pretty much go along with most of it. Maybe not have the drinking at the high school party. But
yeah, but
the rest of it, I think, could go.
The next one. Now, I haven't seen this one, so I'm going to have to lean heavily on Mike here. And maybe, Colin, you've seen it. Slapshot from 1977.
Mike?
Listen. They're saying because of the level of violence and, well, okay, there are some scenes. Yes, okay. They say so-called blue language. Okay, I guess that means, you know, there's certain words that, so you're replacing lines. Like there's one scene famously, and I'm quoting this from the movie. Paul Newman's character finds out that the other team's goalie's wife is having an affair with a woman. So Paul Newman taunts her, and I am going to apologize for my language, but this is quoting from the movie. He taunts the goalie by skating past him and going, "Hey, Hanrahan, your wife sucks pussy," and he skates away.
So, sorry, I chuckled.
Right?
Like a school kid. Sorry.
That's exactly how he says it. So, a scene like that, yes, I understand. You're probably going to change that. But as far as the fighting, that's how hockey was back then. This movie is a classic hockey movie because it's depicting the Federal League, which is, this is exactly how the Federal League was. And it's well known. So, no, it absolutely could be made today with some tweaks.
Now, the next one I'm very familiar with. I like it. My wife hates it. Crocodile Dundee from 1986. They're saying, even though it was a critical and commercial success, all right, amazing success, and it was Oscar nominated, it's problematic today because it pokes fun at Australians. Beyond that, the film features several jokes about transgender individuals that are very inappropriate by today's standards. Excuse me? Okay, one, Australia embraced Nick Dundee, and we know that because of the commercial that they made for the son of Nick Dundee. All right? That we all thought was actually going to be a movie until like the third version of it where they said this is just for the tourism board. We were all sucked in to say, hey, there's going to be another movie. So I don't think that whoever this Brian Del Pozo is knows what he's talking about, because I don't particularly think that Australians were very were terribly upset at Crocodile Dundee bringing probably loads of tourists to Australia.
If it wasn't for Crocodile Dundee, the concept of Outback Steakhouse never would have taken off. I'm sorry. There, I said it.
Yeah.
Fight me. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and the transgender jokes, you mean when they grab each other's crotch in a bar in the Outback? Sometimes you just got to let people live the way they live, man. That's just mates being mates, as Nick would say.
The next one, you know what? Just move on.
I'm just gonna move on. Let's just say, we'll say this: it is a Christmas movie. I don't care what you say. Moving on. Forrest Gump. They said you couldn't make Forrest Gump today. Forrest Gump is like, I don't know how many awards Forrest Gump won.
A lot.
Yeah.
But here, my biggest issue here is that for so long, everyone has felt sorry for Jenny.
Yeah.
Jenny is the villain in this movie. Okay?
Yes.
Jenny absolutely is the villain. She makes Cruella look like Cinderella. She is the villain. She
Jenny
is the
made-
inspiration for Kanye's song, I Ain't Saying She a Gold Digger.
She made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision and never learned.
She took advantage of someone who was not a smart man.
Yeah.
But, see, and this is the part that I think is, so they're talking about the views of the Vietnam War, the Black Panther Party, the AIDS epidemic, have become less and less acceptable. There's not a single mention of the fact that Tom Hanks, one of the best actors of our generation, is playing what essentially is an autistic man.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they get, I don't know, in this day and age of cancel culture, why don't you get an autistic man to play Forrest Gump? You know, nobody's taking offense to that. Or the stereotype of Bubba.
Oh.
Shrimp is the fruit of the soil. Yeah, no.
No.
What?
Next one, I think we should just end on, because I think it's a perfect gateway into our movie reviews. All right. Caddyshack.
Well, that's just completely stupid. I'm flipping through a couple of these just to see. They say Mr. Mom should never get made.
Why would a man being put out of work and having to take over the duties of his wife not be applicable to today's world?
Well, they're basically saying it's not that interesting anymore.
They're saying wildly outdated gender stereotypes would never fly in this century. Okay, fine. Back to the Future. I think this one we know the whole incest thing pretty much is what kills it. The Bad News Bears.
Police Academy, the entire series of Police Academy. The only one that doesn't work is Assignment Moscow.
Porky's was, or I didn't think Miami Beach did either. I thought it jumped the shark when they brought Lassard's nephew in. Porky's, let's be clear about something. Porky's as a mainstream movie, no. Porky's as a late night cable.
Porky's
movie,
as a direct to DVD or direct to streaming, fine.
Yeah. The Toy.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Never happening.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree.
I think honestly surprised it was made when it was made.
It probably shouldn't have been. How did they get Richard Pryor to that movie? Why did Richard Pryor go, wait a second?
I know, because he wanted to probably make fun of the rich people. I'm sure he probably enjoyed that role a little bit. Making fun of Jackie Gleason.
Tootsie? Well, that goes along with, what's it?
Yeah.
The Jerk. Okay, this one absolutely, for the opening line. Steve Martin, I was born a poor black child. Yeah. We can just, let's move on. We got movies we got to review here.
Yeah. I was looking, the one thing, the Toy, evidently there was some concern that Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor didn't get along on the set of The Toy. Richard Pryor actually said that him and Jackie Gleason were kindred spirits and that they would crack each other up in between takes on the movie set. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. All right. Moving along, we do this thing every show where we look at a couple of movies that have been suggested to us by Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, wherever, based upon our previous viewings, and it's the Double Feature Movie Review. We tell you what's worth watching, what's not worth watching on your cues. So whenever you see those things, it says, hey, you watch this, so you may like this. We will go ahead and do the work for you and tell you what's worth watching. We rank it between Puke and Schnikes, Puke being the worst score. Actually, we can even go a step below that, burn it with fire, and then, Schnikes being the best. So up this week is Cosmic Sin, starring Bruce Willis, and Who's Your Caddy, starring I don't remember.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So
People were in the movie.
some people were in the movie. Big Boy,
One sex offender, and then a bunch of other people.
Big Boy and Jeffrey Jones are of note, and Sherry Shepherd from Who's Your Caddy, in case you are really interested. So, I think, which one should we start off with? Since we were just talking about Caddyshack, should we start off with the golf movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we'll start off with Who's Your Caddy, and Colin, we'll let you go first.
Okay, Who's Your Caddy is it's Caddyshack with black guys. Next. No, no, it literally is Caddyshack with black people. That's literally that's all it is. It's the entire plot. Well, okay, I take that back. So they kind of do still have the gopher and the Bill Murray scenes, except that instead of a gopher, it's just a very short guy. And instead of Bill Murray, it's Sherry Shepherd and dang it, just went blank on his name. Terry Crews. So trying to find the bomber. I don't. Look. Surprisingly enough, it's an okay movie. It's funny in spots. I think it's way too long. It takes way too long to get to the actual golf part, and then the golf part at the end. The actual it literally is Caddyshack. So it has the scenes where people are having a battle to see who can win a golf match. They could have got to that faster. The whole reason why the main character is doing this was very kind of tacked on. They got it in better, but it feels like they really should have got to it faster. So it didn't feel so tacked on when suddenly you get this reason for the movie existing later. I want to give this a smirk.
A quick smirk from Colin. All right. Mike, I'll go next, and then you can bat cleanup. How about that? All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Who's Your Caddy has a fairly large cast of people you may not know. Jeffrey Jones, probably the most well known. Okay, so Jeffrey Jones has played in Beetlejuice, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Lots of television roles, especially with Carol Burnett. So you know him from around. Okay, he was in Howard the Duck, so Hunt for Red October, Stuart Little, all kinds of things like that. You'll know him when you see him. Trust me, he's one of those guys where you go, oh yeah, that guy. This is the simplest way that I can put this is, if The Legend of Bagger Vance was made for $9.99 with Martin Lawrence instead of Will Smith. All right? That's kind of what this comes down to. It's a really, really cheap ripoff of not even Caddyshack. Caddyshack 2. All right? It doesn't even come to the level of Caddyshack. It's Caddyshack 2. All right? And I say a ripoff because it's not even that full of a show. Caddyshack 2 even had, it had one person against the entire club, whereas in this one, it's really just one person against the president of the club, and the rest of the club members just are along for the ride. They're enjoying themselves, having a good time. They don't care, if this guy gets in or not, and it's the president of the club that's having all this trouble. Who's played by Jeffrey Jones. And Jeffrey Jones's character never comes right out and says it, but it's kind of inferred that it's because he's a black guy, that he doesn't want him on the course. But it never comes out and says that. But that's just kind of the read you get on this the whole time. And then you come to find out later on that it has more so to do with the guy's dad, and that's why he wants into the club, and to basically right a wrong from a long time ago. And they start to build this backstory with the head caddy that you don't see a full explanation of the relationship there. And, you also see, you start to see a little bit of a relationship with this, really proficient caddy who is good at golf, a la Caddyshack 1, or Caddyshack 2, but more like Danny from Caddyshack 1. And, how that's going to play out, but you never really see that come to fruition either. There's a ton of like little loose ends that any one in and of themselves would have been a good like side story for them to have completed, but they didn't ever really complete it. So it fell flat. It fell really flat because they just tried to jam all this other stuff in there that didn't really belong. I will say I got a couple of good chuckles, like the kid's birthday party when he came out with a couple of bitches on each arm. That was really funny. And the scene with the guy from Bad Santa in the strip club, that was kind of funny. And all the improper little jokes, those were kind of funny, but it doesn't make up for the movie as a whole. So I'm going to give this one a meh, because it's not that great, but it's not in the realm of horrible. So, I mean, if you're going to put something on in the background while you're vacuuming your carpet, this one will work. But it's not something that's appointment viewing by any standard. All right, Mike, you're up.
All right. Let me just stop and say that the house that they're showing in the beginning, I want that house. How the hell did Principal Rooney end up with a hot-ass wife like her? Does she know about his criminal past? I just need to know that. Quote, unquote, get your monkey ass off my property. I am at the point, not even 15 minutes into this movie, where I'm thinking I might have to shoot myself for putting it on the recommendation sheet. I'm also trying to figure out who exactly thought that this movie would be a good idea, as in who thought making this movie was a good idea. Who greenlit this movie? Uncle Phil? Is that you? Damn, Uncle Phil lost like 100 pounds, man. Look at him. He's looking good. Holy, wow. And I'm glad to see that this other caddy survived Pandorum. Them rims be spinning. I need that golf cart. I need to retire somewhere where I have a golf cart that has rims that be spinning. I don't know. I don't need NOS in my golf cart, though. No NOS. All right. What in the hell do we need all of this nakedness in the bathroom for? They're pulling every. And is this a modern day blaxploitation film? I'm asking because they pull in every celebrity they can in. They pulled Earl from Two Broke Girls in. They got from Black Santa. The main character, you guys would know, is one half of the group Outcast. You got Terry Crews. I mean, look, young white boy, aka Andy Milonakis, who you might have recognized as Nick from, was he Nick or was he T-Dog? One of the two from the movie Waiting. What could possibly go wrong with this kid being in the strip club? And yeah, so there's the plot twist that his dad was the caddy. Thought this was going to be all about a game of golf for all the marbles, but now they playing polo, and this mofo just tackled someone in a game of polo. Now, I know he played Jamal Jackson in The Replacements, but I don't think a shot and a goal from the ground or tackling somebody is legal in the game of polo. I'm no expert. All right, I'm middle class. I've never played polo, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal. And that had the golf game, and Terry Crews trying to interrogate the little man from Bad Santa. I don't know how I feel about this. And then Faison Love literally just did like an ogre fart in a kilt and didn't shit himself. That's quite possibly the most impressive thing about this movie. Is getting very generous in that, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, the wife, right? That was another unfinished story.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, there were all these little side tangents that they could have gone down, just like in the original Caddyshack, where you got all these different little tangents that you could go down, but they failed. They failed miserably. All right?
So,
even if they'd have finished that one at the end, I'd have been happy.
Just as a heads up, this film was shot in Aiken, South Carolina, and it just so happens that Jeffrey Jones's criminal record became the subject of community complaint during production of this movie because locals insisted that the public should have been alerted the same way as he's required to notify. He's a registered sex offender now. So he's required to notify folks when he moves, and he's also been arrested several times for not doing that.
So, yeah. All right, so next up, another crime against humanity, cosmic sin. We're going to start with Colin on this one. Colin, take it away.
Okay, Cosmic Sin. So what happened here is a local community theater group decided to make a science fiction movie. And so first they needed a script. So they decided to take the Chronicles of Riddick, the Ori episodes of Stargate SG-1, and maybe sprinkle in a little bit of Night of the Living Dead, and came up with a script. And so then they decided, we need sets and stuff. So they went to the local RV place and got a whole bunch of RV toilets and reattached them as armor that would go into space all over themselves. And while they were doing this, somehow, did you know Bruce Willis has developed narcolepsy and not narcolepsy. Anyway, Bruce Willis is apparently is now walking in his sleep. And so while they were shooting this movie, Bruce Willis just came wandering through, obviously not awake, just completely emotionless. So he must have been asleep. So he was just sleepwalking around, and they decided to shoot a movie around him. And they stuck some of their toilets on him too. Some crap about the Chronicles of Riddick people coming and taking over people's bodies so that they could take over the Earth. And so they decided to go to some other place where they somehow knew that the people were at. And I forgot that there's the Return of the Jedi part where they go down to a planet to find a big gun that shoots back into space instead of staying in space where the bad guys are. Yeah. Don't watch this movie. It is puke, and it is terrible.
Okay. It's very, very in-depth review. All right. I'll go next. Okay. Evidently, Bruce Willis and Nicolas Cage have the same financial advisor. The one who told them, it doesn't matter how much money you spend, someone will always pay you to be in some piece of crap movie. And so they spent all their money, and now they have to say yes to every script that's put in front of them. So I don't know how Nicolas Cage isn't in this movie, because you'd think that they get shown the same scripts, but somehow he got out of it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he was busy filming, Death Rider 3 or something. I don't know. But anyway, this movie does have a few people that you would know. Frank Grillo, who is in every bad movie that we watch. Also is a big person on all the Purge movies. Lachlan Monroe, who, if you're into a lot of the Hallmark movies, you'll actually know him as usually the jerk boyfriend. Brandon Thomas Lee is also a familiar face on a lot of horrible B movies. So if you're looking for a movie that holds a lot of B movie characters, this is going to be right up your alley. That being said, I wouldn't even call this a B movie. This is more like an F movie. All right? This movie is bad. It's like Starship Troopers with a quarter of the budget of an episode of Stargate SG-1 on a single episode, not like a whole season run. I really have seen episodes of the Stargate franchise which are better than this movie. And, I mean, it's not just the horrible special effects where so that they don't have to design an outfit for the aliens, they just put Vaseline on the camera lens so that it can't focus on anything. You know, it's the set design, it's the costume design, it's the script itself. It's horrible. It's, you know, I think they spent all their money on that stupid Q-bomb special effect. And then they said, okay, we got $1.50 left. What are we going to spend that on? Oh, let's get a soda out of the machine. You know, this movie was just ridiculously stupid. It had no real plot to it. I mean, the whole concept is, okay, there was an attack on a base somewhere off-world, first encounter with aliens. It was a negative encounter, and so now we're going to proactively go blow them up. But first we have to identify where they're from using a radioactive signature that'll lead us back to their original planet, blah, 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 blah. Totally implausible. But somehow we have interstellar travel capabilities. But this is the first alien civilization we've ever seen. And they're really not true aliens. They're just goo that takes over a person's body. Like I said, this is really bad. This was just a poor thought that never should have made it onto a script, let alone into someone's hands, or gotten financing. People finance this garbage, and yet we're still doing this show for free. I mean, really, if you're out there, Hollywood, listening, and I know you are, because you've ripped us off on some other things, we could use the money. All right? Pour your dumb money into this show. All right? Don't pour it into Bruce Willis. Okay? He can go live with Demi if he can't afford his mansion anymore. All right? We could use the $10.99, $10.99 that you spent on this film. Just sponsor one episode. It'll be less than what you spent on that piece of crap and higher quality. So I'm giving this one a puke. Mike?
Okay. Saban Films is going to have a Power Rangers vibe. As I'm reading the description, I felt like this was going to be The Fifth Element meets Battle Los Angeles meets The Walking Dead meets Ghosts of Mars. Lachlan Monroe. Saving grace, this movie is going to be awesome now. Nothing like a little ego stroking by the film company. If you notice when they're showing the city skyline at night, 308 Entertainment is emblazoned on the tallest building. Okay. Oh, hell. Red Matter. Another movie using red matter to power the Q-bomb. What could possibly go wrong? And then they kill off the best character in the movie, Lachlan Monroe. So, what the hell? Of course, the doctor is his ex-wife. So now we have a dash of Die Hard in the mix. So, Power Rangers, Fifth Element, Battle Los Angeles, Walking Dead, Ghosts of Mars, Star Trek with Red Matter, Die Hard. We had another pinch of Star Trek in because they've got the flying suits to get into the fight. And the space bridge, so Stargate. Space Cannon, Death Star, so Star Wars. Now we're up to 10 different movies that they're taking crap from. Hero sacrificing himself, Armageddon. Two folks putting their hand on the trigger at the same time. That's a little detail from the core when they started the impeller on Braz. You know, look, when you take plot points from so many different movies and you think it's going to work, it's not. It's absolutely not. Someone please pay off Bruce Willis's debts. I'm begging you. Or do something so he has to stop making these stupid ass movies for these low budget studios. I'm giving it a shrug because I honestly have no idea what the movie was actually trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, I agree.
And Shag, you put something up. How much did he make?
Bruce Willis worked one day on this film. One day. He made somewhere between $1 and $2 million. And for that, he worked his one day, and the producers get to put his face on the poster, which the poster actually uses old artwork from the marketing extra collateral work from Die Hard 4.
Wow.
Well, it's not that bad considering that it was only shot in 2 days, so he was there for 50% of the movie. But okay,
by the way,
there was one. Go ahead.
Let me just put so from RogerEbert.com. Obviously, he's not doing the reviews. This is by Christy Lamar. To suggest that Bruce Willis is phoning in his performance in Cosmic Sin would be an insult to telephone communication. Which can be an effective means of conveying important information and genuine emotion. That is a great quote.
Yes, so there was one plot point that I didn't discuss because I know Mike likes to cover those, but I guess there was too many in this one. And that was, so there's a character who gets hurt. And it looks like to be a neck injury. Now, neck injuries either are fatal or not. There's no such thing as a lingering fatal neck injury. You know, if you can manage, if the jugular is cut and they're spraying blood everywhere, they're probably going to die. If they're not spraying blood anywhere, it's probably fixable. But what does Bruce Willis's character go? He goes in, looks at the guy, and goes, turns around, picks something up, sticks it on the guy's leg, and kills him. And he's going to die anyway. I'm like, first off, when was Bruce Willis' character described as a doctor? And what part of this injury was supposed to be fatal? Anyway, that's just the best example I saw in that movie of just how bad it really is.
After starring in a recent string of such cheap action flicks, including Hard Kill, Survive the Night, and 10 Minutes Gone, it appears Willis would rather be anywhere else but here.
I read an article that was talking about it. He said basically he had a run of a couple of really good movies, and it seemed like he was going to, get a better reputation, and then he just decided to make crap.
To do everything.
And there doesn't seem to be any reason for it other than he likes making crap.
Well, coming up, it's not getting any better. Looking at his current production calendar, so he's got a movie coming out that it's completed called Surviving the Game. A man's life on his farm is interrupted when a cop and a pair of dangerous criminals show up. I don't know if he's the main. I don't think he's the main character. He's just a side character. After that is one called Apex, which 5 elite hunters pay to hunt down a man on a deserted island only to find themselves becoming the prey. That at least stars the guy who Neil McDonough, who was in Lachlan Monroe is also in that one. So that tells you the caliber of the film.
What is he? Is he contractually obligated to service Bruce Willis or something?
I don't know. Movie called Deadlock coming out. A gang of mercenaries holds a nuclear power plant hostage. That one actually includes Patrick Muldoon, who again is a Hallmark actor. And again, stars a ton of B-list actors.
He has 13 different productions.
Yeah, I know.
In 2021, some of them are going to 2022, but they've already been shot. So,
Yeah.
The movies have been filmed.
I can't.
10. He has 10.
Oh, it's just.
You count this up. That means he's made like, I don't know, $20 million doing crap this year.
Which I guess if you can make $20 million 2 days at a time, doing 10 movies in let's say he made 10 movies at $2 million a pop. Okay, that's $20 million. But he only worked 20 days out of the year.
$1 million a day? I'm in.
Yeah, if I could make $1 million a day and only work 20 days in the year, sign my ass up.
Let me tell you something. I will star in all of these Bruce Willis films for 20% of what he's making.
I'll tell you what, put my ass in a Bruce Willis costume, and I'll just do his work, okay?
Yo, I got that app Reface, man. You can just film me and use that to make me look like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just, it's just nuts.
I'll shave my head. That's fine. I mean, look, here, wait, here, ready? See, I can do Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
All right, listen, let's pick these next movies here. We're 1 to 21.
Okay, so it's going to be time to fill back up our list here pretty soon.
I had a bunch that I need to put on. I was after we watched Cosmic Sin, I tagged a whole bunch of ones that was suggesting. So
Jesus.
Okay.
11.
What? I got a feeling I'm going to be very angry about this. It's a YouTube movie.
Okay.
The touching Christmas story. The touching story of how Santa Claus came to be Santa. Hold on a second.
that doesn't. I mean, we try to keep those Christmas movies for Christmas.
Well, I'm looking because the actors, Hannu-Pekka Bjorkman, Otto Gustafsson, Jonas Rinne, director, Juha Wulihoski.
Audio's in English.
Come on, will somebody freaking speak already? Oh, it's freaking dubbed. Okay, fine.
No. Let's hold on. We're gonna hold it. We'll skip it because if anything, we'll do it in Christmas time. I'm not up for a dubbed movie right now. 6.
Okay. Well, this one we know is on Amazon Prime. Guns Akimbo.
Yay! That's the one I was saying that we need to make sure we get to before it disappears on us.
I don't.
Okay, hold on. Let me move it over.
Oh, this is a Daniel Radcliffe movie.
Daniel Radcliffe with guns. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What could go wrong with this one? What in the hell? I'm just looking at some of the stuff from the trailer, and Yo, that chick's got a cigarette hanging out of her nose. All right, let's go next.
17.
17. And this one I know is going to be out there. This is a Netflix original, Spencer Confidential.
Oh, okay.
Mark Wahlberg.
I keep seeing this on my list, so I'm glad that we're getting to it. This is another. It's an ex-cop and an ex-con team up with aspiring fighter Hawk to uncover a sinister conspiracy tied to the deaths of 2 Boston police officers. It's an R-rated, mystery movie based on a book. So I kind of like that one. I think that one's looking good. So, all right, cool. That ought to be fun.
All right, so yeah. And the next show should be the 27th, barring any
Awesome.
Any crazy rescheduling.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then, with that said,
what melted? What are you talking about? What melted? When did that come in? 8 minutes ago. What are we talking about?
I don't know. Isn't the snow melted? I don't know.
Oh.
Well, we want to thank everybody for listening, for tuning in, for subscribing, and for following along at home. Remember, we don't grow the show without your help. So we need everybody to help tell all their friends, tell all their neighbors. Pass out flyers at church. Print them out. Go ahead. Put them in the church bulletin. That's what we want you to do. Tell people about PTR Radio. Let them know that you enjoy listening to it and that they will too. As Mike said, we will be back on the 27th, back to our Monday night schedule. And we hope that you will be joining us as well. And by that time, I'll let you know how my big drill bit does. And who knows what other purchases we'll have in store for you at that point. So, really, I don't think there's much else to say. You guys have anything?
Nope.
Negative.
All right. Well, everybody just stay safe, stay connected, and, just stay on the web and keep listening to PTR Radio. Don't forget to check us out on the website, ptrradio.com, as well as social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, at PTR Radio. All right. With that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the Ape Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks, because we are done. Later.